everybody, Mr. Seamhead here talking baseball as that's what Mr. Seamhead does. Today I want to talk about the greatest pitcher I ever saw in my life. I had the pleasure of watching live at the stadium and many times live on TV. Saw him Wrigley Field at least twice. Watched him on WGN, TBS, and WGN on his home team channels, Cubs, Braves, Cubs. Just basically how you watched baseball in the 80s and 90s. You got a few other games here and there on ESPN, local channels, but pretty much it was Cubs and Braves and the occasional White Sox game on WGN. Cubs during the day, Braves at night. No lights in Wrigley Field till 88, and you would melt if you played in Atlanta during the day. But anyways, Greg Maddux had 17 straight 15-game winning seasons, which is the all-time record. The previous record holder was Cy Young, who, of course, the pitching award is named after, who had 15 straight seasons of 15 wins or more. Maddux, after he won 17 straight years, won 13 games, and followed that up with a 15-win season, and then followed that up with a 14-win season, meaning basically 3 wins shy of having 20 15 straight win seasons. That's just outrageous. Now, some people want to say wins don't matter. Wins are really the only thing that matters. Now I understand a bit about the sabermetrics and looking into a pitcher's value or a player's value who is on a bad team. I understand that. But regardless of what happened, Greg Maddux won. He always found a way to win. I mean, he lost some games, obviously, but when you win that much, just unheard of. It's he 11 wins in the playoffs, 11 and 15, I believe, in the playoffs. So not it's dominant, but his ERA was in the 320s, I believe 328. So he was no hack job, obviously, during that time either. Him and his brother Mike. Mike is an outstanding major league pitching coach. Hung around in major leagues, I want to say about 15 years as a spot starter, long reliever, mostly. He won 37 games. I believe 37-41 was his career record. There's so many wins between Matt, Greg, and Mike that they're third all time amongst brothers with the most wins in the major leagues. And again, Mike only won 37. You're looking at Joe and Phil Niekro as number 1, and Jim and Gaylord Perry as number 2 on the brothers list there. Greg is also no slouch anywhere on the baseball field. He's a 177 career hitter, which isn't outstanding, but not bad for a pitcher. He knocked in, I believe, 84 RBIs and even stole 11 bases, and he was only caught three times. A few homers, 5, I think. He won 18 Gold Gloves. Brooks Robinson won 16. Now a much more demanding position at third base defensively than pitcher, but still, that's the most Gold Gloves any player has ever won is 18. We had talked before about the Gold Glove not coming around until 1957 and only being for outfielders for the first 4 years. But still, 18 Gold Gloves. He credits his big brother Mike for a lot of his success, which makes sense. Mike was saying that even when Greg was 10 and I believe Mike was 14, Greg was already outplaying most of the kids their age and hanging right along with his older brother, who would eventually become a major league pitcher himself. We used to see Twib. Greg Maddux was once, I believe it was Twib. Greg Maddux was showing how to throw a two-seam fastball. Something, obviously no major leaguer, no college player, nothing like that. But this is how I throw my two-seamer when I was playing amateur. And this is how I learned it from Greg Maddux, and it's something that I would recommend any of the coaches, any of the younger pitchers out there do, because it does put extra pressure on the arm. It's not a breaking ball, so it's not going to hurt the elbow any more than throwing a regular fastball. How he showed it was done was he would put on the inside of the seams right there. He'd take his index finger, put just as much pressure as you could right there on the seam, top of the seam there, and then just kind of curl that up, just kind of leave that finger there, and then just finger, just kind of keep it there for the ride. And you throw that ball, and Greg, and he could cut it and throw it right into a coffee cup. Cut in on right-handers and cut away from lefties since he was a right-handed pitcher. It's, I think, a good pitch. If the pitchers aren't using it, if coaches aren't teaching that, I think that's one that is an outstanding pitch to teach because it puts a ton of movement on the ball. And again, it's not causing any issues with any other issues with the arm than a fastball, a normal fastball would. I feel like there was a bit more I wanted to say about Greg Maddux. Uh, Greg Maddux also hit 177 in his career. That's pretty good for a pitcher, honestly. He stole 11 bases. I was only caught 3 times, if you can believe that. Knocked in 84 RBIs. 5 home runs, I believe. But 84, 85 RBIs he knocked in his career. Granted, he played 22 seasons, 23, 24, 22, I believe. But that's, I mean, 84 RBIs in a career for a pitcher is, I would say, fairly impressive. He won 18 Gold Gloves. That's more Gold Gloves than any player in the history of the game. Won 13 of them consecutively. He's one of the elite group of few who've won over 10 Gold Gloves, or even let alone 10 Gold Gloves in a row. We'll go over that list in a different show. His postseason record: 11-14, 3.24, 3.25 ERA. Not out of this world, but pretty solid. Could have got some more wins, but that's, again, not always on the pitcher. But also, winning is all that matters, right? It's kind of hard to believe that Braves team only won one World Series and all that time they had there. But of all the pitchers I've ever seen, literally a pitcher, yeah, he didn't throw 100 miles an hour. He didn't have a slider that broke from the pitcher, from one batter's box to the other batter's box. He didn't. Yeah, he didn't have that. Okay, he got people out all the time. He was consistently great to, at his worst, good. Even at his worst, he was still really, really good. I believe he ended up with a career 3.10 ERA. I feel like there's some more stuff I'd like to mention, but I'm drawing a blank. I just do these off the top of my head. Very little research. Just what I know, but you can look this all up. It's all going to be extremely accurate in any show I do. He's a pitching coach in college, University of Nevada, Las Vegas, I believe. His son, I believe, was Chase Maddux, was pitching there for a while as well. We probably almost certainly will never see another 300 game winner. Now, Maddux wasn't the most recent to do it, but he is definitely on the elite group, and being just, again, eighth all time in wins. That's just ridiculous. I said so. Sandy Koufax, great pitcher. He was. He retired at 30. I mentioned that on previous show. Still is in the Hall of Fame. He was that dominant for 6 years, I think. But Maddux did it. He outdid Cy Young in the stretch of most consecutive 15-win seasons. And then again, like I said, hiccup to 13 and 15, won 15 the following year, and then 14 after that. So to Greg Maddux, and his brother Mike, hey, top 3 brothers, most wins by brothers in Major League history. Yeah, great pitcher, great pitcher, obviously. But I would say, we don't really look into it more, right? He got 93% of the Hall of Fame vote, slam dunk, first ballot as he should have been. But to Greg Maddux, the best pitcher I have ever seen. I'd say the best pitcher in a lot since Koufax, and I didn't see Koufax, but the longevity of Maddux, I'm still going with Maddux to be 8th all time. I don't know how many times I can say that. I think that'll be the last time. But well, anyways, Mr. Steamhead signing off. Good night, everybody.